Some say men lose interest when a woman becomes too emotionally available or clingy. Is there truth to that from your experience? Or is it just some made-up story? Story 1. Wow. A woman who likes me and does not make everything needlessly cryptic and confusing. What a novelty. Story 2. Wife. I would reciprocate that energy tenfold. I found that when I was expressive with my feelings, it would push women away. So meeting someone like that would be great, given that I feel safe with them and we have good chemistry. Story 3. Perhaps it would have been true for my teenage self. A girl who kept acting clingy exhausted my introverted, grumpy, loner self, and I asked her to leave me alone. Nowadays, I try to gradually match the girl's energy. I am not naturally touchy-feely because I do not want to be intrusive, but if a girl started it, I would enjoy becoming more and more hug-prone. I am still introverted, though, so she would likely be more clingy than me and would still tire me out, probably. Story 4. Men react the same as women here. If someone is very affectionate and you love them and want affection from them, then you will love it. If you do not feel that way about the person, you are not going to enjoy it. Story 5. People can have different love languages, such as words and acts of service. That said, the subtle thing I find with lots of attention and availability is that sometimes it is not love but control or fear of abandonment, which is a form of emotional unavailability. By being on all the time, he or she may feel like they are preventing the other from leaving them. I like a partner who is present but not smothering. Story 6. It's usually the opposite. I had a reasonably good couple of dates with a woman recently, but she showed almost no emotion at all. I had to admit that was a no-go for me. Story 7. Love it. I love when you're comfortable being your full self. Hug me whenever. Kiss me whenever. Don't be shy when we're in love. Some don't like it because it can feel suffocating and a bit forced. Just like how some women prefer a strange balance between uninterested and mysterious with men and cringe when a man openly displays his undying affection for her. Story 8. Yes, that was the case for me. The relationship became too overwhelming, and I felt smothered. Also, it felt like she was compensating for her own insecurity and not respecting herself, which turned out to be true. There is nothing wrong with being affectionate, but if it comes from a place of desperation and fear of abandonment, then it is off-putting. Story 9. Depends. Do I know this woman? So I might gush over it a little bit. If I did not know her, I would think she was planning to leave me in a tub full of ice. Admittedly, too much physical affection is like trying to cuddle a cat who is trying to squeeze out of your arms. I like it, but only for a minute or so. Story 10. I'm expressive in the way I thank my partner. He gets gifts, sex, cuddles, and intimate moments just because. I saw this and thought of you type stuff. In return, I get the same. Our energy is the same. I just want to be snuggled up with my partner. He feels the same with me. We're not clingy either, and we respect that we both have things to do outside the relationship. But when we are together, it feels natural to be that way with each other. Not forced, just an easy, expressive kind of love. My ex-husband was a complete dullard. He drained my energy, didn't want sex with me, and made me feel unwanted. Story 11. If she is a good match without it, the extra attention is just icing on the cake. If she was the one who pursued first and you were not initially interested, it can be a little overwhelming. Story 12. Love it a lot, but it depends on how soon into the relationship it is. I've had women become extremely open in the first few days of talking, and it scared me off before, mainly because friendships and relationships I made in the past with women like that have never ended well for me. I've learned through experience to take it as a sign of instability when someone is willing to become that intimate with you so early on. It's a matter of personal preference, but I like to give it about 2 months of knowing a woman before I let that kind of affection into my life. Truth be told, I'm no longer sure if that's just me being rational or me keeping my guard up because of rough learning experiences I've had to endure. I just play it safe now. Story 13. Once you learn to love yourself, it is easier to be emotionally available. I wish I had figured that out much earlier in life. Story 14. Some say men lose interest when a woman becomes too emotionally available or clingy. This usually happens if a woman tries to interfere with the hobbies or friends he had before they started dating. Or if she has no hobbies or life herself, so she turns the man into her sole source of entertainment and drains all his time and attention. If you are being supportive of what he wants to do with his life, then I do not think many men mind being showered with love. In fact, they probably love it. Story 15. Some say men lose interest when a woman becomes too emotionally available. I cannot understand how anyone could genuinely believe that. People do not lose interest in that case. They simply never had it to begin with. Clingy is not emotionally available. Clingy is emotionally dependent. That is a fundamentally different thing. You cannot be emotionally available if your emotions are not entirely your own. I do not really mind clinginess to a degree, but to be emotionally available, you have to be emotionally independent. No amount of emotional availability is going to change someone's disinterest. Story 16. I feel that she will want something in return. Also, if she is developing feelings and expressing them so quickly, I have to somehow match it, or the emotional aftermath she causes me will be a big hassle. There is no free lunch. Story 17. How do employees feel when an employer is genuine about the position? They provide honest feedback, positive reinforcement, a nice bonus, and always deliver pay on time. Some say employees get bored with this and prefer instability at work. They enjoy the thrill of not knowing if their pay will arrive on time. Story 18. Happy but suspicious. Probably more than willing to go along with that situation while it lasts, because the odds are good that behavior from her towards me will not last long. Too good to be true for my touch-deprived self. Story 19. Almost like push-pull reactions. Overdone, it scares many men when they are not emotionally aligned. Story 20. From my perspective, it is very true that I lose interest. Too much is too much. At best, it feels smothering, and at worst, it feels desperate. Overall, it is boring. There is no thrill of the chase. A relationship is not the only thing going on in my life. When I am doing something else like working or enjoying hobbies, I am not even thinking about her, so I want that degree of separation and independence. We are all different, though. It looks like many people on this thread would consider it perfect. Story 21. Depends. I have always thought the idea of losing interest if you know someone is into you to be childish and unwise. Women do this too, by the way. That being said, some people overwhelm you with love. It is nice to know you are loved, but sometimes I also want to be left alone and not have someone clinging to me. Some women understand that, which is great. Others take it the wrong way, get hurt when you ask for space, and make you feel guilty for wanting it. This is the negative kind. Story 22. My answer is I feel all kinds of emotions all the time, and I certainly value a woman who puts an effort to show me how much she cares about me. That said, I have some caveats. 1. I do not want closeness when I am deeply reflective, such as wanting a solo trip to get away. I do not appreciate closeness from someone who has lost my trust. I do not enjoy closeness in high temperatures. I do not like closeness when I am happily engrossed in some self-directed activity. Avoid those caveats, and I will not only be highly impressed but also very responsive to your desires. Story 23. Put a ring on it. What is the problem? If she is amenable and can adjust how and where she expresses that love, such as indoors only, then a man should protect that type of love with the ferocity of a Spartan warrior. Absolutely. Marry her as soon as possible. Story 24. With no context like you are giving, it is not ideal. If we are dating and eventually become boyfriend and girlfriend, I would love it. On a first date, I would not like it very much. Story 25. I love it, but experience tells me it is just temporary. She does not feel like I give her enough attention, and when she gets that attention, at best there are conditions. More likely, she will pull away. The healthiest women in our troubled intimacy without commitment society are those who keep a safe but constant distance. These women slowly come closer gradually, gravitating more than magnetic attraction. They come slower, but the affection is more constant, stable, and less conditional. Story 26. Yes, that rocks. There is also a big difference between being available and being clingy. Being open is great, but being the only thing in someone's life and expected to fill that space is not. Affection should not be a chore you need to do to keep pulling your partner from spiraling, and they should not make it your fault if they are mad about it. Story 27. I am struggling with several "I miss you" type texts a day. I really like her, but it does feel claustrophobic at times. Almost all our dates are dinner at her house followed by lots of intimacy. It's great, but I am truly looking for long-term love. I want to see her out and about, if that makes sense. We had a talk the other day, and she will make an effort to go out more. It was a hard conversation because I love being in her home, and she is beautiful and sexy. Story 28. I think a girl openly telling you how she feels is nice, but when she starts making sexual comments as if it is nothing, I find that quite unattractive. It says a lot about a woman when she is discreet and respectful. That is just my opinion. Some men may find sexual comments attractive and invigorating, while others find them unpleasant. Story 29. As someone who has been starved of affection for 20 years, not even receiving small signs of care, this sounds like heaven. Story 30. The number one complaint of men with relationship issues is their partner not being physically close and being mean constantly. Physical closeness often leads to emotional closeness. If you are not physical, you will probably drift apart. Story 31. Some men dislike it and want more space. I honestly prefer it. According to the love languages test, mine is physical intimacy. Story 32. I had this experience with my ex-wife. It is wonderful. As a man, I went through most of my life unnoticed by women. If a woman you like shows genuine love for you, not based on what you provide her, but simply because she loves you for who you are, that is something special. As many have said, this is something deeply desired by people regardless of gender, but only if it comes from someone who feels the same way. Receiving one-sided love and affection is unpleasant. Story 33. My fiancé is like this. We were in a long-distance relationship until September. I find it great when we are together. When we are not, her constant texting for attention is annoying. Story 34. There is a difference between affectionate and clingy. Affectionate means showing affection. Clingy means demanding attention at all times. Story 35. To be frank, I do not like it. I am easily overstimulated, especially because women who are very expressive with their love tend to also like to receive the same. Story 36. I already told my girlfriend that it is almost impossible to give me too many hugs and tell me too often that she loves me. Story 37. If I am interested in a woman, I am all for it. I will say that if she gets upset or jealous because we cannot hang out, then it is a turnoff at that point. Also, keep in mind that I am definitely not an avoidant type of person. I imagine if someone is avoidant, then this might not be something they would enjoy. Story 38. Depends. When we are sitting on the couch, cooking dinner, and so on, it is fantastic. When I am in the middle of a project, covered in paint and just trying to get it done, please get out of the way. Story 39. I love it when she is aware of when she is overstepping, which should not be too hard to figure out. I would rather be with an overexpressive girl than with someone for whom I have to guess if I am doing enough to make her happy. Story 40. Some women stop listening to other women about what men like and want. You are wrong more often than you are right. Story 41. Love it, my preferred method of giving and receiving love. I am not into gifts and simple words. Show me. I pay very close attention to people's actions and behaviors compared to their words. Show me rather than tell me. Story 42. If you find a woman who stays that way after 15 plus years, you better hold on to her for dear life. That is all I am saying. If you do not, you are making a mistake. Story 43. Random woman. Strange unless I know her. Friend fine. Early dating still a bit reserved, especially on the first date. Relationship, okay if with accepted boundaries. Basically, clinginess is subjective. It might mean that she is expressing a desire to feel close and connected, which is absolutely fine. Much love and kindness. The problem arises if it is not reciprocal. How would she handle rejection? For example, if I were tired or wanted quiet time alone, Would she respect boundaries? With boundaries, excellent. Without, doubtful. Everyone can control themselves. There is nothing wrong with being affectionate. The issue is expecting to always get what one wants. Probably overthinking. Story 44. No. I can confirm that I have never met a clingy woman in my life, nor have any of my male companions ever spoken of such a thing. Love and attention from a partner is what we men are often deprived of. Story 45. Things like that depend on the individual. There is no single answer for men, just as there is no single answer for women. People who make such statements usually know very little about men and apply stereotypes or wishful thinking onto them. Story 46. I like a woman like that if I am attracted to her and want to be with her. If you do that to a man and he pushes you away, I have bad news. Story 47. The endgame fantasy is that most of us will never experience even a small amount of care and consideration from a significant other. Story 48. It all depends on whether the relationship has reached that point. If this starts before the relationship is established, I would find it absolutely strange. However, when the relationship is established and feelings are mutual between both parties, I would find it perfectly acceptable. Story 49. I crave that kind of attention, but I understand that many people may find it overwhelming. I heard a comment once that stuck with me. It said that a relationship needs a certain amount of tension. If one person is too clingy, the other will pull back. Story 50. It is about timing. 2 weeks in would seem desperate. If the man has been good to you and worked to earn it, he will appreciate it. No one wants to be with someone who is just eager to be in a relationship or to feel something. Story 51. I would love it more if my partner and I could be physically together like that. However, we are over the phone, calling too much, or over the phone for an extended period without saying anything, which is not good. Story 52. 1. That woman is my wife. Not expressing affection with extreme jealousy. Giving space once in a while. I feel honored and loved by her expressions of love, but I would tone down her clinginess if it becomes too much. I am afraid she might become bored with me or that it could turn into hatred if I do not meet her expectations. Story 53. Like everything, there has to be a balance. Anyone who has been with a clingy person, regardless of how much they like them, knows how exhausting it is. Story 54. When it was from someone I did not have any affection for, I did not like it. If it is from my girlfriend, then I love it. Story 55. I love it. My last girlfriend was like that, and now I will not date another woman again until I find similar dynamics. I am a giver too, and it was wonderful. Story 56. I would need a break. She has to understand I don't want to be touched all the time. Sometimes I am going to want to be alone. I can't accept that, though. Thankfully, I have already found the one who accepts that. Some days I just don't have the emotion for affection in me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I hate you, and she knows that. Other days she can have all she wants, but like me, she wants her no human days too. Story 57. Advice to women. Do not be clingy or men will run away from you. Women often do the exact opposite and are not clingy at all. The result is that the man runs away. It is all about moderation. Read the situation and show the appropriate amount of affection. Story 58. I think most men like it when women are a bit playfully clingy now and then. It is bad if it is chronic or if they are literally obsessed with you. Story 59. I guess it strongly depends. If it feels real, legitimate, and intentional, I would be shocked because I do not get that sort of attention at all, but also pleasantly surprised. I do not mind being expressive myself, but it does get a bit old when it seems like a one-way street. On the other hand, if it feels fake or like there is a game or a hidden agenda, count me out. I have been through enough in my life. I am not interested in playing hard games or simply validating you because you have other issues you refuse to deal with. I have put in my own work, and I know where I am lacking. I am trying to figure out how to fix it. I am not going to spoon-feed you or compliment you just for existing. I hope this does not come across as misogynistic or anything like that. It is certainly not my intention. But are we not all supposed to be working on improving ourselves? Story 60. I knew a very attractive girl who would shower me, and as I found out later, other guys with attention. It made me feel special. I developed feelings for her, but then she would grow cold, lose interest, and tell me we were just friends. As I grew colder too, she would resume the attention, and the cycle would repeat. It was decades ago, but I still remember it. She told me stories, later confirmed true, of receiving flowers and gifts from some of the other guys. So, if an attractive woman showed similar attention to me today, I would immediately be on my guard. There must be a catch. I would think that I am being played. Story 61. Personally, I can't get enough of it. To me, it's the best way for a woman to show she wants you and is so in love with you she can't get enough. It is my love language, though. I can understand why people might get tired of it. It's not a woman or man thing. It's a people thing. Like most things, some men will love it, some women will love it, and vice versa. Story 62. Personally, if we're in a relationship and she wants to spend time or be in the same room as me while I'm doing something else, I'd like it. If she constantly wants to dictate what we are doing every day, I'm kind of over it. I need my freedom. Obviously, I'll tell her, yo, Jake wants to hang out and we're doing X. I can ask if you want to come, or Bill needs help with a project. If that upsets them, well, I'll be irritated and things probably won't last. We are two people with lives after all. Regarding expensive gifts, I'd accept the first one or two but quickly nip it in the bud. I'd feel guilty that I now need to get them something. We could discuss gift exchanges and price caps if they really want to do it. What I really prefer is favors, cooking dinner or lunch as a surprise, or doing a chore I didn't ask her to do. I do the same, and it just makes each other's lives easier. Story 63. That's all I really need from my partner. I want to feel like I am needed and loved. I would prefer more than less. Puts my mind at ease. Story 64. There is a point for me when lots of attention becomes too much and is overbearing. If I had to choose between the two extremes, I would rather be single than have so much attention directed my way. Story 65. God, I dated a woman like this. She was amazing. I had sex for the first time and it was terrible. I felt nothing. I broke up with her a couple of days later, but I still wonder sometimes if I should have just stayed with her for the compliments, validation, and how safe and desired I felt at all times. It was amazing. Story 66. There can be some truth to that. There is no harm in being close or wanting to spend time together, but sometimes we need space. Personally, I need to take a little reset sometimes and do basic upkeep tasks that I do not get to do when I am with my girlfriend because I am focused on other things with her. It can help to show an interest in his hobbies if you want to spend more time with him without seeming too clingy. Story 67. I like it personally, but I start to dislike it if it turns into them complaining when you do not answer a text in 3 minutes. Those traits seem to go hand in hand in my experience. Story 68. My sample size is small, but yes, I have experienced this leading to me losing some interest. I would not go as far as saying this can make you lose all interest, and it is definitely better than the total opposite of showing no interest. Story 69. This is not something the average person will ever experience, so I do not know how many helpful answers you will receive. Story 70. I get frustrated with cold, unaffectionate women, but that's who I end up dating, and I become the clingy one. Of course, I hold back a lot, but I feel like that's my thing. Clingy women are cute at first, but being clingy all the time, showing up at work and sitting there the whole time, not letting me work or focus, that's hard for anyone. I want someone who reassures me often, but I can't handle clingy behavior, especially early in the relationship. Story 71. There is a huge difference between clingy and affectionate. If it is healthy and you still have space, then I love it. Story 72. I love it, but I get a little overwhelmed sometimes, and I hate saying no because I do not want her to think that I never wanted that affection in the first place. Story 73. There is close to zero truth to this. It is yet another of the crazy ideas women made up about men. I think it is partly projection and partly just plain delusion. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.